Once in a while you come across an idea that's so simple, so quietly powerful, that it stops you in your tracks. If you've ever found yourself overthinking, overwhelmed, or paralyzed by the unknown, then what I'm about to tell you could very well change the entire trajectory of your life. And before we begin, if this message resonates with you, if it helps bring even a sliver of clarity into your day, I'd like to invite you to subscribe. Not out of habit, but as a sign to yourself that today is the day you begin feeding your mind with ideas that lift you higher. That's all this is. A reminder, a tool, a return to what you already know, deep down. Now let's begin. You win the moment you stop worrying. Let that sink in. You win. Not when the money comes in, not when the applause arrives, not when life becomes convenient, but the moment you stop letting worry control your mind. It has been said that worry is interest paid on a debt you may never owe. And yet how many people spend the best hours of their lives worrying about things that will never happen? Worry about what others think. Worry about the future. Worry about what cannot be controlled. Now here is the truth. As old as the hills, no man was ever made better by worry. It does not sharpen the mind. It does not prepare the heart. It does not give you energy. It only steals what is already yours: peace, clarity, and joy. You see, the mind, like a fertile field, will grow whatever you plant in it. Plant anxiety, and it will grow restless nights and frazzled nerves. Plant doubt, and it will grow hesitation and fear. But plant faith, plant calm assurance, and the mind will return to you confidence, strength, and clear direction. This is not theory. This is not motivational fluff. This is law. And the moment you stop worrying, you begin to obey that law. Many people believe they must wait for the conditions to be right before they release their worry. If I just had more money, then I could relax. If they would just understand me, I'd feel at peace. Once this phase is over, then I'll feel better. No, that is not how the world works. Peace is not found when life gets easier. Peace is found when the mind becomes stronger. The man who stops worrying doesn't do so because life has become perfect. He does so because he has come to a realization that worry is a misuse of imagination, that it is a thief of time, and that it is a choice, a habit that can be replaced with a better one. I remember driving once through a long stretch of desert. The road stretched on for miles, no towns, no distractions, just open sky and silence. And I thought to myself, most men have more noise in their minds than this highway will ever see. Endless traffic, thoughts darting here and there. But the man who wins the moment he stops worrying, he clears that highway. He lets only the useful vehicles through. He chooses what drives across his mind. It's not always easy to do. Worry disguises itself well. It can sound like being responsible, it can pretend to be preparation, but let me be very clear. There is a vast difference between planning and worrying. The former involves focus, the latter is fear in disguise. You were not born to worry. A child doesn't worry about the future. He plays, he explores, he trusts. Somewhere along the way, we are taught that to worry is to be mature. That if we're not worrying, we must not care. But nothing could be further from the truth. The wisest, most effective individuals you will ever meet are those who have stopped carrying the unnecessary burden of worry. They have work to do. They have problems to solve. But they do so from a place of mental calm, not mental chaos. And this is where we begin, by observing. Observe when worry enters your mind. Do not judge it. Simply notice. Where does it come from? Is it tied to something you can control, or is it a ghost from the past, or a shadow of a future that may never come? Ask yourself, what am I really afraid of? And then go a step deeper. What is the worst that could happen? And if that happens, would I survive it? Could I adapt? More often than not, the answer is yes. You win when you see worry for what it truly is, a fog, a distortion. It makes things look bigger than they are. It makes you forget what you are capable of. And the moment you cut through that fog with a calm decision, you reclaim your vision. You do not have to solve your entire life today. You only need to stop giving power to that which has no authority. Worry is loud, but wisdom is quiet. Let that quiet voice rise, and when it does, you'll know what to do next. Because your clarity, your confidence, and your courage, they are already within you. You win the moment you stop worrying. There is a moment, silent, often unnoticed, when a person catches themselves mid-worry and for the first time chooses not to follow it. That moment is a turning point. It may last only a few seconds, but in those few seconds something remarkable happens. A man reclaims his mind. You see, the great secret is that worry is not something we have, it's something we do. It's a habit of thinking, and like any habit, it can be broken. Not all at once, but gradually, intentionally, and with awareness. Most people live in a kind of mental autopilot. They don't think, they react. They absorb every negative headline, every rumor, every unkind word, and they allow it to shape their state of mind. Their peace is like a candle in the wind, flickering with every gust. But peace, real peace, is not fragile. It is not dependent on silence or perfection. It is forged. How? By training the mind to choose calm over chaos, to choose thought over emotion, to choose present action over future fear. I've known men who worked under great pressure, executives, surgeons, firefighters, and yet they carried a stillness within them, not because their work was easy, but because their minds were trained. They knew that panic solves nothing, that fear when indulged becomes weakness, but fear when observed and challenged becomes fuel. A ship may be surrounded by water on all sides, but it only sinks when the water gets inside. The same is true of you. You may be surrounded by uncertainty, by pressure, by things unknown. But it is only when you allow those uncertainties inside, when you dwell on them, feed them, magnify them, that you begin to sink. So ask yourself, what am I letting inside? What thoughts am I entertaining? What images do I hold in my mind's eye? Because your imagination is a powerful tool. It can build cathedrals of hope or prisons of worry. Most people use their imagination against themselves. They visualize failure, embarrassment, loss, and then they wonder why they feel stuck. But you can just as easily imagine strength. You can imagine overcoming, solving, rising. And when you do, something shifts. You begin to act in accordance with that image. Your actions, your posture, even your voice begins to reflect belief instead of fear. Worry has no creativity. It recycles the same tired fears again and again. But faith is inventive. It looks at the same problem and sees possibility. It doesn't ignore reality, but it refuses to be paralyzed by it. Let me offer you a practice. When a worrisome thought arises, don't resist it. Simply say to yourself, "This thought is not useful." Label it, see it, and then replace it. Replace it with a question, what can I do right now? Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. And you'll find almost always there is something. A phone call, a small task, a moment of prayer, a walk in fresh air, a deep breath. These actions, though small, interrupt the pattern of worry and restore your sense of control. Now some will say, "But Earl, I've worried my whole life, it's just who I am." No, it's not. It's just what you've practiced. And what is practiced can be unlearned. You are not your thoughts. You are the one observing them. And the moment you realize that, you've already begun to step into power. When I speak of power, I don't mean the loud kind, the one that shouts or demands attention. I mean the quiet, unmistakable power of a man who knows who he is, who has faced the storm and remains still, who smiles not because life is easy, but because he's learned to stand unmoved in the midst of it. This kind of power is available to you. Not someday, not after everything is perfect, but today. Now, you win the moment you stop worrying. Most people believe that if they could just fix all the problems out there, they'd feel peace in here. But life doesn't work that way. The world will always be full of change. Circumstances will shift. The economy will fluctuate. People will surprise you, disappoint you, or fail to meet your expectations. That's the nature of life. It moves. But your peace is not meant to move with it. It's meant to stand still. And the only way it can stand still is if it's rooted in something deeper than circumstances. Worry is the attempt to control what you cannot touch. It is mental resistance to reality. You worry about what people think, but you can't reach into their minds. You worry about tomorrow, but you don't live there. You worry about outcomes, but outcomes are not your job. Effort is. You are responsible for your thoughts, your attitude, your preparation, your integrity. That's the soil you can tend. That's the investment that yields return, but the moment you begin tending someone else's soil, worrying about things outside your fence, you lose traction. And it's important to remember, the mind cannot focus on two things at once. You cannot worry and create, you cannot panic and plan, you cannot doubt and believe. One will push out the other. Which one are you nurturing? Every time you choose worry, you feed a weakness. You give it strength. You allow it to borrow your imagination. But when you choose focus, you build momentum. When you choose presence, you reclaim your time. When you choose action, you grow stronger. I remember a man who once told me, "I can't stop worrying. I've tried everything." And I asked him, "What do you do with your hands when you worry?" He said, "Nothing. I just sit there." And I said, "That's the problem. Because the body and the mind are partners. If you sit still and ruminate, you are giving the mind full permission to wander. But if you get up, if you take even the smallest step forward, your mind follows. It adjusts. It begins solving instead of spiraling. And that's the great secret about motion. It breaks the spell of helplessness, the illusion of stuckness. Worry thrives in stagnation, but in movement it dies. So take a walk, make the call, write the idea down, clean the desk, organize the folder, take the step. Any step. Don't wait until you feel better to move. Move and you'll begin to feel better. Now, does that mean all fear disappears? Of course not. Courage is not the absence of fear, it's the mastery of it. And mastery begins with understanding. You begin to understand that most fears are just shadows. They have no substance. They grow only when you shine your attention on them. Have you noticed? Most of what you worried about 5 years ago never happened. The things you thought would break you, you barely remember. The people whose opinions haunted you, many are no longer even in your life. Worry shrinks your world. It narrows your focus to what could go wrong. But freedom comes the moment you say, "Even if the worst happens, I'll still rise." That kind of thinking breaks the chains. It opens the door to growth. It shifts your posture from defense to creation. Because ultimately, worry is a symptom of misplaced trust in the wrong things, outcomes, opinions, events. But when you begin to trust your ability to respond, to adapt, to rebuild, to endure, then even setbacks become fuel. You stop asking, "What if I fail?" and start asking, "What will I learn?" You stop saying, "I can't handle this," and start saying, "Let me take the first step." Your entire energy shifts. And slowly, steadily, the mind learns a new rhythm. It no longer rushes to the worst-case scenario. It begins to look for solutions, for growth, for perspective. And that change, that internal rewiring, is what separates the anxious from the assured. You may not see the result right away, but that's fine, because the seed is in the soil now, and the law says what you plant, you shall reap. Worry planted reaps tension, but presence planted reaps power. You win the moment you stop worrying. There comes a time in every life when the question must be asked, not about the world, not about your job or the economy or the people around you, but about yourself. The question is simple: how long will I allow worry to shape my decisions? You see, worry has a subtle way of guiding a man's steps. He says no when he means yes. He stays silent when he should speak. He settles for less when he was made for more. All because somewhere in his mind he fears what might happen. But here's what the man free from worry understands. There is no security in hesitation. There is no reward in playing small. The man who spends his life avoiding discomfort finds no peace, only regret. And regret is the heaviest burden a man can carry. Now, most people wait for their circumstances to improve before they let go of worry. But the wise man knows it works the other way around. The moment he lets go of worry, his circumstances begin to shift. Why? Because his mind is clear. His actions are bold. His energy is no longer being drained by what-ifs and maybes. You cannot rise while holding on to fear. It is like trying to climb with anchors tied to your feet. Every worried thought slows you down. Every imagined scenario saps your strength. And most of the time, those scenarios are false. Studies have shown that over 90% of what people worry about never comes to pass. And yet those worries cost them sleep. They cost them focus. They cost them years. But it doesn't have to be that way. Not for you. There is something deeply powerful in a mind that decides to trust. Not blindly, not foolishly, but wisely, intentionally. A mind that says, I don't know what tomorrow holds, but I know who I intend to be when it comes. That kind of man prepares. That kind of man shows up. That kind of man doesn't flinch when life throws a curveball because he has trained himself to respond, not react. And that training begins with a decision. The decision to stop feeding fear. The decision to stop rehearsing defeat. The decision to stop rehearsing defeat. The decision to stop waiting for everything to be perfect before you begin. Let me tell you something. The man who wins in life is not the one who never had doubts. He's the one who chose not to dwell on them. He heard the voice of worry, but he didn't obey it. He heard the whispers of what if it doesn't work, but he kept walking. That's strength. That's mastery. That's peace. Peace is not a place, it's a posture. It's how you carry yourself through the storm. It's knowing that you don't have to control everything, you just have to control yourself. And the truth is, you can choose your focus. You can redirect your thoughts. You can pause before reacting. You can practice gratitude when you feel lack. You can breathe when panic rises. You can lead your mind one thought at a time. And soon you begin to realize, worry was never a protector. It was a thief. It didn't keep you safe, it kept you small. It didn't shield you from pain, it delayed your progress. But when you stop giving it power, when you start walking with a mind focused on what you can do, your whole life begins to reorganize itself around that clarity. You'll speak with more confidence. You'll notice more opportunity. You'll hear ideas rising from within you that were drowned out by noise. The noise is fading now, the fog is clearing. And what's left is you with your eyes forward, your back straight, and your energy finally working for you, not against you. Let others panic. Let others worry. But as for you, you've remembered who you are. You've remembered that no man was born to live in fear. And in that remembrance, you win. You win the moment you stop worrying. Think back to the moments in your life when you felt truly alive. Not when everything was perfect, but when you were fully present. Those moments had something in common. You weren't worrying. You were there, engaged, awake, focused. Maybe it was during a challenge. Maybe it was when you were helping someone. Or maybe it was when you decided, even for a moment, to act in spite of your fear. You see, life doesn't reward worry. It rewards presence. It rewards effort. It rewards a man who shows up, rain or shine, and keeps moving forward. And yet how many men spend their energy imagining what could go wrong instead of preparing for what could go right? Let me ask you something. If you spent the same time thinking about solutions as you do worrying about problems, how far ahead would you be right now? The man who stops worrying becomes dangerous, not in the reckless sense, but in the purposeful sense. Because now he's moving with clarity. His steps are firm, his voice carries weight. Not because he knows everything will work out exactly as he plans, but because he's no longer wasting time fearing what might not. When a man is consumed by worry, he shrinks. His goals shrink. His vision shrinks. His ability to act shrinks. He lives his days in defensive mode, always reacting, never building. He's like a sculptor staring at the marble, afraid to make the first cut. But the man who has trained himself to release worry, he picks up the chisel and begins. That's the difference. The worrier asks, what if I fail? The builder asks, what do I need to do next? Now don't misunderstand me. This isn't about pretending problems don't exist. It's about refusing to let them dominate your inner world. It's about separating fact from fear, action from anxiety. It's about living in the present, not replaying the past or pre-living a future that hasn't happened. I once read a story of a man who was walking along a mountain ridge. A sudden storm rolled in. The wind howled. The sky turned black. And yet he kept walking, slowly, deliberately, one step at a time. When asked later if he was afraid, he said, of course I was, but I never stopped looking at where my foot needed to land next. That's how you beat worry. Not by eliminating every fear, but by staying grounded in what you can do now, what you can build, what you can control. Worry is often a signal that your focus has drifted. It's become fixed on things outside your reach, on results, reactions, or things yet to unfold. But when you pull that focus back to the present, to your task, to your purpose, you regain strength. Let me offer you this. The man who wins doesn't need everything to be calm around him. He creates calm within him. And that inner calm, that becomes his advantage. While others flinch, he stays focused. While others doubt, he moves. While others delay, he decides. And the world begins to respond to him differently. Not because it's easier, but because he's different. The moment you stop worrying, your posture changes. Your energy shifts. You listen more clearly. You speak with purpose. You stop trying to control the uncontrollable and start mastering the one thing that was always yours, your own mind. And something even more powerful begins to happen. You start attracting people who operate the same way. Focused people, composed people, builders, leaders, thinkers. You build momentum, not just in results, but in relationships, in reputation, in your own self-respect. You become the kind of man others look to in times of uncertainty, not because you know all the answers, but because you remain anchored. Anchored men are rare. The Utura Weymouth. They walk through storms upright. They don't lash out, they don't panic, and they certainly don't fold. Why? Because they've learned you win the moment you stop worrying. And I say that to you now, not as a theory, but as a practice, a discipline, a mindset, one you can return to again and again, every time your mind starts to drift. Come back to your breath, come back to your task, come back to your core. You are not what happens to you, you are what you choose to become in the face of it. There is a certain grace in a man who no longer lets worry lead him. You can see it in the way he moves, calm, steady, deliberate. He doesn't rush, but he wastes no time. He doesn't speak often, but when he does, his words matter. He is not burdened by the noise of the world because he has built stillness within himself. That stillness is not the absence of chaos, it is strength in the face of it. Now, how does a man get there? Not by accident, not by chance, but by choice. Daily, intentional choice. He has learned to treat worry as an uninvited guest, noticed, acknowledged, and shown the door. Every morning you are presented with a decision. Will you begin your day carrying the weight of imaginary troubles, or will you stand light and focused, ready to act on what is? That one decision defines the entire rhythm of your life. Worry pulls you into reaction, focus keeps you in creation. One drains you, the other renews you. You are not here to live in fear of things not yet seen. You are here to make something, to give something, to build, to serve, to grow. Worry distracts you from your true assignment. It turns your eyes inward toward your own discomfort, when your purpose lies outward in what you're meant to do, who you're meant to help, and the life you're meant to lead. So what does a man do when worry creeps back in? He doesn't panic, he doesn't resist, he simply sees it for what it is. A signal, a call to return. Return to what is real, return to what is now, return to what is his to do. And that's the difference between the lost and the clear-minded. The lost man is swept away by every passing fear. But the clear-minded man lets fear pass through him like wind through tall grass. He bends, but he does not break. He listens, but he does not break. He listens, but he does not obey. You must understand this. Emotions are visitors. They are not masters. They come and go, but you remain. The question is, who are you in the presence of that emotion? Are you ruled by it? Or do you rise above it? Every time you choose to act instead of overthink, you rise. Every time you decide, this is not worth my energy, you rise. Every time you meet uncertainty with discipline, you rise. And rising, my friend, is your nature. You were not made to cower. You were not built to crumble. You were created to overcome, to walk through fire and come out refined, not destroyed. And that's why I say to you now, with the utmost seriousness, do not let worry rob you of another day. Not because you're guaranteed ease or success, but because worry will never help you meet difficulty. Only courage will. And courage is not loud. It is not arrogant. It is silent, consistent, rooted. Worry says, what if? Courage says, even if. Even if it goes wrong, I'll stand. Even if they don't understand, I'll speak. Even if I fall, I'll get up. Even if the path is unclear, I'll walk it anyway. I'll walk it anyway. And this kind of thinking sets you apart. It separates the man who merely survives from the man who leads. And make no mistake, people can feel it. They feel when you are anchored. They sense when your words are coming from a deep place, not just surface confidence. And slowly, without asking for it, you begin to earn their respect, not through force, but through presence. The man who no longer worries is the man who others turn to when everything feels uncertain. He's the one who brings clarity into a room. He's the one who sees 10 steps ahead, not because he's better, but because he's calmer. And that calm, it's available to you right now. Not after you solve everything, not after the fear disappears, but in the midst of it. Take a breath, stand tall, walk forward. You win the moment you stop worrying. Somewhere, maybe even today, a man will wake up and realize he's tired of carrying the weight. Not the weight of responsibility, not the weight of purpose, but the unnecessary weight of fear, doubt, and mental tension. He's tired of overthinking every decision, tired of replaying conversations in his head, tired of imagining failure before he's even tried. And in that moment, he will make a choice, a quiet, inward choice. He will decide, I will no longer let worry be the loudest voice in my mind. That is the moment everything begins to change. Because when a man stops worrying, he doesn't become reckless. He becomes responsible, in the truest sense of the word. He responds to life rather than reacts to it. He sees clearly. He moves intentionally. He acts not out of fear, but from principle. The man who no longer worries doesn't waste time trying to impress. He doesn't ask for guarantees. He doesn't demand certainty before taking the first step. He understands that life will always have unknowns. But unknowns are not threats. They are invitations to grow, to adapt, to create. And he accepts that invitation. What happens when you stop worrying? You begin to think, not from a place of survival, but from a place of vision. You begin to listen, not to the noise, but to the signal beneath it. You begin to operate not from pressure, but from presence. You are no longer pushed by fear. You are pulled by purpose. And that shift, though invisible to the world, is everything. It changes how you carry yourself, how you speak, how you work, how you show up for the people who depend on you. You no longer bring anxiety into the room. You bring order. You bring clarity. You bring calm. Do you realize how rare that is? How rare that is. When we found to be calming. In a world filled with rushing, with panic, with desperate attempts to control the uncontrollable, you are still, not passive, not frozen, still, the kind of stillness that contains quiet strength. Because now you understand, the worst thing that could happen is not failure. It's missing the life you were meant to live because you were too busy imagining what might go wrong. Worry robs you of moments you'll never get back. It makes you forget that this moment right here is your life. And this life is not a rehearsal. It's not a dress rehearsal for something easier, something safer. It is now, it is yours, and it is limited. And so I ask you, what would your life look like without worry at the wheel? What would you build? Who would you become? What conversations would you finally have? What ideas would you finally bring to life? You know the answers. They're already within you. They've been waiting for you to step into them. Because here's the truth. You don't need more time. You don't need more confidence. You don't need permission. You simply need to stop feeding the thought that says, I'm not ready. You are ready. And the world is waiting for a man who is no longer ruled by fear. A man who moves not because it's easy, but because it's right. A man who refuses to waste another breath worrying about things that don't deserve his attention. That man wins. He may not have all the answers, but he has direction. He may not know what comes next, but he's moving forward. And when setbacks come, and they will, he doesn't crumble. He recalibrates and keeps going. Because he knows life does not reward worry. It rewards the man who keeps walking, the man who shows up, the man who stays focused when others fold. That man becomes unshakable. So if you've heard these words today and they stirred something in you, don't let them pass like another fleeting motivation. Let this be a line in the sand. Let this be the day you finally say, I will no longer spend my life inside of imaginary prisons. You are free the moment you decide to be. And if this message helped you, if you felt seen, if it gave you strength, share it. Someone else out there needs it too. Like the man you were yesterday, or the boy you once were who wished someone would say it to him straight. Send this to him and walk forward. Because you win the moment you stop worrying.